Hello and welcome back to Tarot Tuesday. I'm Amy the Medium, and today we're going to talk about miniature decks. I love that the tarot is sold in many different sizes. As you likely know if you've handled a tarot card deck, they are quite large. Here I have a standard playing card deck, and here you can see how much bigger a deck of tarot cards really is. Not only is it far more cards, but it is also a taller card overall, and it's a little bit wider than a traditional playing card as well. If you're not used to carrying cards like these or reading with cards like these, they can be a little bit too much for you. These cards don't really travel that well at all because they take up a lot of room. It's easy to go travel with a playing card deck because we're all used to this small size. It can fit in a pocket, can fit in a purse, wherever you need to place it. It's not very bulky. These cards are not going to fit in your pocket. They are far too big. And so I love that you can buy things like miniature decks. So this deck here is literally just called the Miniature Rider-Waite. And if you put this one next to a playing card deck, you're going to see not only are the cards shorter, they're not as wide, but your stack is still going to be a little bit taller than a playing card stack. And that again is simply because there are more cards to the deck. But you can see that this small deck, it's going to fit into a bag much easier. It'll fit into a pocket much easier. And frankly, if you can save room when you're traveling, you're going to want to do it. And so I highly recommend for traveling specifically that you travel with a miniature deck. That is, if you travel with your decks at all. I am someone who needs to often do readings from anywhere. I don't want to pack all my decks with me, but I can pack a very small travel deck with me and I can use it no matter where I am. Additionally, these small decks, they don't use a lot of table space. So you can see, I'll just do an example here of a tiny Celtic cross, how I can fit the entire cross in a very small amount of space. Whereas if I take the full-size deck and I lay it on top of these miniature ones, you can see how much more room it takes, and I don't even have enough room on my table to lay out the entire spread. Now this is the miniature. There is also a mini deck, and there is also what is called the tiny deck as well. I used to actually have one of the tiny decks. I think it's called the World's Tiniest Tarot. The cards themselves are maybe 1 inch tall. They're literally tiny. The reason that I don't have one now is because I lost it and I cannot find it. There is such a thing as too small. But this size here, I highly recommend. It's great for travel. Like I said, you can put it in your purse. It's really simple. The artwork itself is complete. This is a traditional Rider-Waite, and so you're going to see that it's got all that traditional artwork there. It is in enough detail that you can still do a reading from it. So if you're someone who wants to travel with your cards, but they've just become too big and bulky to do it, I highly recommend you find yourself a miniature deck. Invest in at least 1, 2, maybe if you feel like you need more, and have fun with them. Do your readings wherever you see fit. Different size decks for different uses. Hopefully this has given you a little more insight as to what to expect when you get a smaller deck. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.